Members of the press, at the end of this, if you just raise your hand, Mr. Rusak will give you a copy of the statement. Good evening again, Hoboken.
Good evening.
There may be only one piece of housekeeping this evening, and that is item number 6 on the agenda, on my agenda. The young lady's name at item number 6 is Tony Rotondo. Tony Rotondo. D.O. Contained as part of the agenda distributed to the public and posted yesterday afternoon on the district website is the corrective action plan upon which the board is being asked to vote this evening, and about which questions may be posed by the board and the public. On that point, may I introduce with pride and honor the interim business administrator for the Hoboken Public Schools, Mr. Robert H. Davis. Through me, we shall hear from the business administrator a little later in the evening with respect to the corrective action plan. With respect to the audit, which we as a community received last month, let me reiterate that all the findings were all BC, and that stands for Excellent. That too. And that I expect very few to be repeated or even exist when you hear the 2009-10 audit report. Speaking of the audit and part of the corrective action, the misused student activity funds did not go to an employee, but to reimburse 2 separate parents. One for an electronic device which became missing during a football game, and the other to reimburse a parent for a similar device which had been confiscated and then missing during the normal course of a disciplinary action. With respect to the last item on my agenda, let me state that my staff and I, in conjunction with the respective board committees, have been discussing the options for the future for the past 2 months. The recommendation represents the reality of our given situation. Quite frankly, my friends, we are outgrowing our space, at least for the next several years. Also, it is imperative that we give our middle grades a boost in academic and social growth. We cannot maintain our 8th grade students in our current buildings as our kindergarten and pre-kindergarten numbers rise. Furthermore, to answer in advance a question or two which may be posed later, we shall be maintaining our early childhood program at Grant for the 3, 4, and 5-year-old children only. Given the reality, based on the 2009-2010 figures, as well as my moving around town and seeing so many strollers with 2- and 3-year-old children therein, that we may need more spaces for these precious young children. Hence, the proposed configuration is what it is. It is my understanding that there may have been some BC proposals or even promises, but the Board of Education was neither privy nor proprietary to such. Several years ago, the state of New Jersey's School Development Authority, in concert with the Hoboken School District, began the work for an addition and a rehabilitation of the Thomas G. Connors School. There is existing correspondence to Superintendent Patrick Gaglioli, in no relation to the current board council, by the way, dated April 3rd, 2006 and December 7th, 2006. For those of you who enjoy research expeditions, the state project is number 2210-065-01-0783. State project number 2210-065-01-0783. There is, of course, more recent correspondence from the Chief Executive Officer of the School Development Authority, dated June 8, 2009, which, by the way, names Demarest as the swing space to house the Connors students. And yes, all correspondence points to a notice to proceed for construction in July 2010. This project is in the pipeline, as is said in state speak. We are pregnant. For a variety of reasons, all educationally sound and based on providing better opportunities for all children, we have proposed to the board the moving of our alternative school to the Hoboken High School building, thus allowing us to offer the Hoboken Charter School space to house their 9 through 12 program, and only their 9 through 12 program at Demarest. We shall be setting up a more innovative program for these very special students in our alternative program from the high school, different from the regular school day, but overlapping the high school day. We shall have more to say about this to the parents of these and the regular high school students in February or March. We shall also be meeting with the parents of the Connors School children in January at a date to be finalized and confirmed very soon. And I shall also meet with the parents of our Brant kindergarten children. And yes, one more meeting with the parents of all of our current 7th and 8th graders at a date to be announced. Last, but by no means least, are these 3 pieces of paper. Actually, more than pieces of paper, but copies of each of 3 checks from the Hoboken Charter School for rents due for the 2008, 2009, 2007, 2008, and 2006, 2007 school year. The total of these checks is $532,240.51, delivered to me by their consultant and chief executive officer on the morning of December 14th. $532,240.51. None of these dollars were ever budgeted as receivables, and thus will be utilized for you, the taxpayers of Hoboken, as a means of tax relief in the preparation of the 2010-2011 budget. Thank you, Hoboken. We are proud to be here working on behalf of your children. If members of the press will raise their hand, Mr.